Okay, it looks like we're live. So, hello everyone and welcome. My name is mgault. I'm here on behalf of the Bell Carrington Price and Greg Eminent Domain Practice Group. And we're here just to share with you some information about the US 276 Improvements Project, also known as the Jonathan Creek Road Improvements Project, which essentially is a widening and improvement of Jonathan Creek Road from I-40 down to 19 near Maggie Valley. Just by way of an update, the reason that we're here offering this virtual town hall at this particular time is because we know from working with some current clients on the project that the project is underway. Those current clients of ours have been contacted by, and we know that some other landowners have been contacted by the DOT's representatives regarding the initial acquisition phase of this project. What does that mean? Well, essentially, in order to do a road widening or a road improvement project like this, some landowners along both sides of the current roadway will be impacted in that some of their property will need to be taken by the DOT in order to make sure that the project happens. Naturally, at some intersections and some stretches along this roadway, in order to make the road wider, some private property will need to be taken to make that happen. How do they do that? How does the government do that? Well, they do it through the theory of what's known as eminent domain, which means that the government, in this case, the North Carolina DOT, has the right to take private property for a public purpose, such as a road project like this. Now, that doesn't mean that you as landowners are without rights. And that's really kind of why we're here today, to describe the rights that you have as landowners and how we as a law firm with an eminent domain practice focus might be able to help you through that process. What are your rights? Well, the most important and the one that I like to lead with is the right to what we call just compensation. That means that although the government probably has the right to take your property, you as a landowner have to be compensated fairly and adequately for what they're seeking to take from you. And that is the primary reason that we are involved with our clients and with landowners throughout our practice areas. Um, Determining just compensation is not often easy. It's even harder when you're a landowner who is approached with a knock at the door or a call on the phone, letting you know, sort of out of the blue, that you're going to be impacted by this project, that some property of yours will be taken, and the government's going to offer you X amount of dollars. It's overwhelming and oftentimes confusing and burdensome because very often the government has experts on their team. They have appraisers, they have right of way acquisition agents. They have folks that do this type of work all the time. And so when they're reaching out to you as a landowner who's likely never had to experience this before, it's overwhelming. And your response can be um, uh, burdened or confused by how overwhelming the process can be for you. And so when we come in with our team, we have eminent domain experience. Our lawyers in our eminent domain practice group have practiced eminent domain on behalf of landowners before. We've actually worked on behalf of condemnors before. And so we know how the process works. We know how the eminent domain, the condemnation process and procedure will go forward, will progress. We know the vocabulary, we know the terminology used, and we oftentimes know some of the players involved. And so we're able to get involved, hopefully, on the early end of projects like this to make sure that we are able to identify the impact to your particular property. And if you're impacted, we'll be able to tell you, hopefully, how we will be able to help guide you through the remainder of the process. Um, I want to tell you a couple of things about eminent domain cases at Bell Carrington. The first is, because of the nature of this public forum, I can't really dive into a parcel specific or a tract specific conversation with many of you. There are a number of landowners that are impacted on this project, and because of that, it's oftentimes much better for you to reach out to us individually so that we can set a time that works for you for that initial consultation, to where we can pull up your individual parcel, we can find your individual impact, and we can have a much more detailed and knowledgeable conversation about how your parcel or your property may be impacted and how we may be able to help you. Those initial consultations at Bell Carrington in our eminent domain practice group are always free. They're always no obligation. We have a team standing by ready to help. And if you'll reach out to the contact information in the video description, then we'll be glad to put you in touch with the right person from our team that can help identify your particular property, how you may be impacted, and how we may be able to help. The second thing is concerning attorney's fees. Folks are sometimes turned off from calling lawyers because of the nature of fees. Sometimes those are exorbitant, and they don't want to incur out-of-pocket expenses or hourly rates. And the good news is that we don't have those at Bell Carrington in our eminent domain team. We instead operate on what's known as a contingency fee basis, meaning that our fee becomes a percentage of the just compensation that we're able to recover for our clients. We don't ask for out-of-pocket retainers. There's no hourly rate that we're billing you for. And if ultimately at the conclusion of the case we're not successful in increasing your just compensation, then you're not on the hook for any fee to the law firm. And so it's really a no-risk situation, a no-risk deal for the landowner or for our clients when it comes to having to consider paying out-of-pocket fees or expenses. Those will never be required. So again, it's impossible for me to tell you in this public forum what your impact may be, how extensively you may be impacted. Some of you, this could be a partial taking, meaning there's a small strip of property along the roadway. For some of you, these may be total takings, meaning your property may not be worth anything in the after. And between those two extremes, there are a wide variety of impacts in road projects like this. So it's important for us to be able to pull yours up, to have a one-on-one conversation with you to see how we may be able to help you moving forward. This project's happening. You can drive up and down this stretch of roadway and see the stakes, the wooden stakes beside the road. And we know that folks have already been contacted regarding appraisals or initial offers. And so now is the time to reach out to find somebody to help you. If you don't have counsel at this time, feel free to give us a call. We're happy to discuss the impact with you. Even if you don't decide to go forward with our firm, we can at least try to give you some more information and explain in more detail how we may be able to help you through this eminent domain and condemnation process and procedure. I can assure you that it's better to have your rights protected than to reach a conclusion in this case and to realize that you left something on the table. So again, Michael Gault and Lindsay Carrington on behalf of Bell Carrington, Price and Gregg, and our eminent domain team. And we look forward to hearing from and hopefully working with some of you in the future. Thank you for your time.